So just to start off, I mean, obviously, you've done like Hugo and you've done this. I mean, you must be like, I mean, I suppose I don't want to say an old hand at working with CGI, but I mean, you've done a lot. I mean, is it still exciting? Is it still? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, it is. For me, the best thing about CGI is that you never know what you're going to get in the end product. You have you see concept art and you kind of have an idea, especially with Tim, because he really loves to share his ideas and his vision. But seeing it on the film is always like, it blows your mind, because you remember doing that shot.
Yeah.
You remember looking around and it's just like a green screen there, so you just got to use your imagination. And I actually really enjoy that. I have a really wild imagination.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I mean, some actors find it very difficult to kind of access it. Like for you, obviously, it comes quite naturally then, yeah?
Totally. I think when I was a kid, I just loved like make-believe, and my dreams were always like insane. And I think I just tap into that a little bit. And yeah, I really enjoy it, actually. Even more so than kind of regular acting.
Really? I mean, even more like, because I mean, some kind of equate it to theatre. I mean, I know you do a bit of theatre work yourself. I mean, does that help with it, or?
Potentially. I think with CGI, it's a lot more kind of, it's a lot more reactive.
Yeah.
Because the camera's got to capture that and you've got to kind of sell it. So you really have to believe that spaceship is flying over your head, or that monster is chasing you. And if you can do that, then the rest is someone else's job.
I suppose, yeah. You mentioned there in terms of Tim Burton that he kind of brings you into the creative process and so on. I mean, were there any kind of films or anything like that he pointed you towards and say, that's the kind of theme we're going for, that's the kind of tone we're looking at?
Not really. I think Tim liked to have this kind of original story, which obviously he adapted it from the book, and he was always referencing it. I think the book was really helpful for Tim and myself, with all that information. Yeah.
I mean, was there any? I mean, did you have any hesitation kind of signing on to it? Like, because I mean, I get the sense that this is going to be like a wider kind of franchise and so on and so forth. I mean, did you have any reservations about that?
Not at all.
Really?
As soon as I heard Tim was doing it, and I'd read the book and I read the script, and I fell in love with them both. I fell in love with this world, which is sort of weird and beautiful and creepy, and I knew that Tim could sell it.
Sure.
Tim could make this, and pretty much only Tim could make this as good as it should be. So yeah, I was pretty optimistic about the whole project. As soon as I found out I got the part, it was easy deal.
Yeah. Chris O'Dowd, because obviously he's Irish. I mean, how was he? How was he like on set? I mean, was he cracking jokes or anything like that? Or because he's quite serious in it, like.
He was. He was lovely, and what Chris was great at was playing this kind of this dad, which just he was very dad-like, but he just couldn't connect with his son. So there was that kind of a distance, even though he was still trying, and that comes across as quite funny in the film.
Yeah.
And that's what he was great at. And both of us, in fact, had to do American accents in this movie, surrounded by a British crew and a British cast. So we were both kind of in the same boat with that, just trying to stay in the kind of Yankee zone.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, were you giving each other tips for the accents or anything like that, or was it?
Not really tips. There's a lot of respect given between actors.
Sure.
So we both had our process, and we both did our thing, and it worked.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good. What are you working on next?
What am I working on next? I just finished filming something a couple months ago. It's an independent film called The House of Tomorrow, where I play this boy who gets turned into this punk bass guitarist, hence the hair. So I got my head shaved.
I was going to say, I didn't want to ask, but...
into a mohawk. It was a lot more extreme. You'll see it when the film comes out next year, hopefully.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a great project. I'm really excited about it.
That sounds very cool. Okay, we've got to leave it there. Thanks, Mel.
Cool.
Thanks, Mel.
Cheers.